Now before I start my video guys, I'm happy to announce that there is going to be a giveaway in this video. There is also going to be a giveaway in the Alert, Tough and Fast Limit Break 3 preview videos as well. And each of the giveaways is going to be exactly the same. If you win, you can choose a character of your choice from the trait of that video, unless they are a mythic trial character. So any other character is open season. You can say, I want this character, and you get that one copy of that character. You cannot obviously do it with mythic trial characters. That's very sneaky. But you can, of course, get the characters that you would be required to get the mythic trial. For instance, Michonne 2000, for Rick 2000. It's up to you. Stay tuned in the video for how to enter this giveaway. Let's get into the previews. Hello survivors, and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. And in this video we're going to be breaking down the limit break 3s of every single strong character that is currently in the game. Any strong characters that come out between now and the limit break 3 release, I'll do up in like a roundup video with other characters from the other traits. Alert, Tough and Fast, probably like a week before release. But we're going to go over the strong characters currently, and first up we have got the man himself. It is going to be Wayland, and we can take a little look at what he's going to get as a boost. You can see on his rush he is going to get +1 turn of disarm resistance. So in my opinion, probably not the most powerful thing that he could have had. He could have got an extra attack, he could have done more damage. He could have got a boost to his signature move, which I think honestly is really like underrated, and maybe did another disarm target. That would have been awesome. But it is what it is. He's going to get not the best of upgrades when it comes to his rush and signature move. However, his passives gets a very nice upgrade. If we scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see he gets Weapon Expert 2, and this of course stacks with Weapon Expert 1. So weapons equipped to this character are 15% more likely to trigger their effects. This means stun on attack, AP drain, AP down on defense, absolute defense. If you have the absolute defense axe, he'll have an extra 30% chance for those to proc. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful indeed on any sort of team. And he's going to be very good against characters who have cunning as a passive themselves. Now next up is Gold Mythic Sophia, and we're going to check out what she gets. She does not get a passive increase, strange enough, but she does get a boost to her rush, and she gets a boost to her signature move. Her boost to her rush is pretty straightforward. She gets a 75% damage boost. It's not going to be that big a deal, honestly. She probably needed something else here. I'm not really sure what. Maybe another target on the stun. 2 targets for 3 turns would have actually been really powerful, and potentially could have pushed her into groups of characters that could be used in things like Conquest and stuff. If we bring down her signature move, it's kind of strange what she's had happen. I think she should have had initial cooldown go to turn 2, but she's been given an extra attack to an enemy. This is very interesting. Make 2 attacks for 100% damage attack. It's really strange. And she also impairs both of those characters, but the initial cooldown is just too slow. That's always been the issue, and she's never going to be like super usable until that really changes to 2. I know that there's going to be no more changes, no more limit breaks to come, but that would be such a small tweak because it makes such a big difference, honestly, for the initial AP gain she'd be getting, and she'd be usable in potentially challenge run and maybe conquest in certain scenarios. Next up, we have everybody's favorite attack leader. It is going to be Gold Mythic Negan, and this one is going to be very interesting. We're going to look at his rush, and he does get a boost to this, 30% damage per attack, so it goes up to 660% total. And then we'll check out his signature move. Does he get a boost here? He does not. So the last boost should be in with his passives, and he is going to get a boost to Ragged Wounds. So when attacking, he gets an extra 30% chance to deal that damage as maim. And that can actually be pretty decent if you are trying to build a maim team. So it goes up to 60% total chance to deal any damage he does, and that includes on his hits on his signature move and his rush, because they have on-hit effects that would include basically every part of his kit. There is a downside to that, of course. His damage can be completely just nullified by a main resist mod. So it's basically whether you want to upgrade this or not. It's completely up to you. Next out is Gold Mythic Mercer, and I think in history's past limit breaks, he hasn't got the nicest limit breaks at limit break 2 and stuff like that. He's just been getting damage upgrades, and again, it's just going to be another damage upgrade. It's not really that big a deal, honestly. He's a tank. You want him to get something that's going to boost his, tankiness. A bit of heal upgrade, if anything, would have been nicer. But that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. He's going to get a damage boost to his rush, and then his signature move isn't going to change. And then his passive boost is going to be Extreme Berserker 2, which is just going to be more of a damage boost. Now, there could be certain scenarios where he could be viable in terms of trying to like charge him up based on the fact that he can taunt, so he could potentially get charged up for certain stages, maybe challenge run, like I say, but he's very, very niche usage now, and that is a shame, and you're going to have to upgrade this with a lot of military supplies to get the best out of it when it comes to the Extreme Berserker stuff, but it will mean that he is going to be getting extra bonus attack when he does proc Berserker. Next out is going to be Dexter, and he has not really seen the light of day too much. I think he's quite a hard to come by character, and we're going to see what he gets as a boost. He gets a 100% damage boost on his rush, and it's just a base boost off the first half, not the conditional half. So he's going to be 500% without the character being below 15% HP. And we're going to see if he gets a boost to his signature move. He is not, so he should get a boost in his passives. And it is going to be Thrill of the Kill 2. When attacking, reduce any counter damage by 50%. And that's going to stack with the first half of it, which is 25%. So he will have a 75% reduction in any reflect damage, that sort of thing. Or even like things like Payback. And potentially that should actually work on Bide as well. So actually that may not be terrible. That may not be terrible. But he is anti-tank. I think they're just better characters. It's just a shame. We're going to move on to the next character, which is Darius. I know some of these characters you may not be interested in, but I'm just going to break down every single one because I know some people might be. We're going to get a rush increase, a damage boost, kind of like Mercer. Not exactly what we want to see, unfortunately. I mean, actually, for him, it's not too bad. He is a bit more of an offensive tank, but it's kind of strange, right? He's not going to get any boost on his signature move. And if we scroll down, you can see that he does get a boost on his rush. When attacking targets with a taunt status, he gets 30 crits. So not really the boost that he would require to be usable in any way, but it is what it is. He's Darius, fully complete, but visually you can see, I'm going to show the visuals of all the characters if I can as well. And you can see he does get his trusty Knight's Helmet as a Limit Break 3 character. Next up, we have Beta, and I don't think there's much that can be done to save Beta. He had such good potential, I think, but the limit breaks have been just kind of done him dirty, let's be honest. He hasn't got very good limit breaks, and at Limit Break 3, he's going to get 10% slow and 10% health reduction again. So the total goes up to 80% on each. Really not that big a deal, honestly, on his rush. If it was on a signature move, maybe. We needed him to get like a turn 1 signature move, and he's not going to get any boost there. He's just got damage boosts and stuff, so there we go. It's a shame. He's one of the coolest looking characters in the game. Honestly, I think he's really cool looking. And lastly, he is going to get, when attacking targets with less than 30% HP, he gets 20% attack. So he does kind of get the second half of that dual specialist that does actually have decap in it, where he has more potential to do more damage against characters with lower HP. Now, Aaron has been getting a bit more usage lately, and I think he could potentially come back around just based on the fact that infection is going to be popping up a bit more than we have seen previously. Visually, he doesn't seem to change too much as an LB3. We will check out what buffs he gets, and at Limit Break 3, he gets 5% extra revived HP and 5% extra healing, so it's actually pretty decent. Remember that he does obviously heal all teammates as well because of that Limit Break 1 buff. So his rush actually becomes pretty good. 20% max HP on the revive character isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. We'll see if he gets his signature move upgrade. He is not, so he should get a rush upgrade. Is he going to get the... Is it weapon buff? Base stat boost from weapons are 15% more effective on this character. Honestly, I think this is one of the more powerful ones in the game. We don't really see this too much on too many characters, and I like this quite a lot, and Aaron's going to utilize this really well. It obviously stacks with the original one, so it's going to be 30% more effective on weapon buffs, and that means that you could potentially, mod him a bit more offensively and get boosts from defensive weapon buffs if you did want to just utilize his, bonus healing from the fact that he's going to do damage. So It's interesting. I think he has got a bit more usability now than he has in recent times, and his limit break is not too bad. Next up we have Connor, and he is a character I'm very happy to see gets that flag on his back. I always wondered, would he get that flag on his back as an LB3? And he does. We're going to check out the rush boost, and he's just going to get a 50% damage. It's one of the strangest rush boosts ever. It's not really that fantastic, honestly. He's going to get an extra 200% damage over the course of all of his upgrades. But, I mean, it's not terrible. It's just nothing really, that much of a highlight, honestly. He did get some brilliant upgrades on his signature move previously with the -1 to initial cooldown, but nothing's going to change here. And is he going to get a last upgrade? He is. When attacked, the attacker gets -20% attack for 2 turns. So obviously that should stack with the first one, which is going to be 20%. So it'll be a grand total of 40% attack down, which actually is really powerful, if I'm honest. The fact that you can get Connors that are very hard to take down, the taunts in there as well, -40% attack. It means people are going to do way less damage than the bonus HP he's going to be receiving. So it isn't terrible. He definitely could have had something obviously crazy happen. He could have got a cooldown on his signature move rather than it being a 3-turn cooldown, but I think this is actually pretty decent for Connor, and it's going to keep him viable. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people are wondering. Would Connor still be viable? And I think he's still going to be viable just because of that first turn, and this is going to boost him a little bit more. Next up we have Brucey Boy, and we can see visually again, he doesn't change too much from I think his previous limit breaks. We'll see if he gets a decent rush upgrade. He's going to get a 100% boost to his attack, which is actually pretty decent, but he's a support character. I'm not really sure what else he could have had here. Maybe a boost to his bleed, maybe extra bleed targets, actually doing bleed to multiple enemies or something like that. But I kind of see this guy as potentially a long-term faction assault character because of that high amount of bleed damage he can do. Next up is his signature move, and he's not going to get a boost here, so his signature move is ended as it is a limit break 2. And lastly, he is going to get a boost to his passives, and it is going to be Tempered Glass. When this character starts their turn, all teammates with the damage roll get 15% defense for 1 turn. This is actually one of his best passives. It's going to stack with the first one, so it should be 35% total. And I think, again, if he's in a faction assault team, you're going to be giving your attacking characters 35% defense boost just from this. This is nearly like having 4 alert characters in a team with an alert bust weapon. That's actually really powerful, but I don't think he's really viable in too many other teams, unfortunately. There could be some challenge run or conquest stages down the line, but it's a lot of investment to get this guy maxed out. But it could be worth it, like I say, if faction assault gets a nice little buff. Next up is Gold Mythic Michonne, and we can see the visuals on her, and she is looking very good. She looks exactly like her art. I love it a lot. And we're going to see what she gets. One of a lot of people's favorites, let's be honest, a lot of people's favorites. I was going to say one of the most favorite characters of people, but a lot of people. She's going to get a nice boost, 35% damage per attack. She attacks 3 times, so that is going to be 105% total. Plus, she gets +1 to the heal reduction duration on her rush as well. So it's going to be 3 turns instead of just the 2 turns. So she goes to 825% total. It's actually not too shabby at all. That's a nice damage boost, and percentage damage dealers do need all the help they can get. Let's see if she gets any more help. Is she going to get anything on a signature move? Will it go to turn 1? No, that is a shame. That is a shame. I always wish this one went to turn 1 with the bleed on there as well and the crosshairs. That would have been really nice. What's she going to get as a boost to her passive? So let's have a little look. She's going to get No Quarter 2 when attacking targets with a heal over time status, 80% attack. That's going to stack with the first one, meaning she's going to get a 160%. Look at that top one, No Quarter. When attacking targets with a heal over time status, 160% attack. That'll work with her signature move, basic attacks, rush, and she doesn't need to have anything like special occur from her perspective. As long as someone's got a heal over time, like Hello Davy, they're going to be in so much trouble. That is such a big boost to attack as well. 80% is nice, but 160%, and that does stack with things like strong attacks, and Michonne can definitely be used in strong attacks teams. Now, there are quite a few mythic trial characters in strong, so the first one we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Gold Mythic Morgan. Visually, he gets the visuals as you can see on the screen. I don't think too much changes there. We'll see if he gets a boost to his rush. He's going to get a taunt target increase, so he taunts 3 enemies for 2 turns rather than 2 for 2. This is a nice little boost in my opinion. Next up, we'll see if he gets a boost on his signature moves. Nothing. I think this signature move could have been nicer. I think the 3-turn elusive duration really wasn't really needed. 6-turn duration on the elusive is just a kind of overkill at that point. But it is what it is. He can't be strong everywhere. Let's see what he gets a boost on his passives, and he's going to get dull attention 2. When this character starts their turn, all enemies without a taunt status get minus 15% attack for 1 turn. That stacks with the first half. So it'll be all enemies, regardless of what their role is, get 30% attack down if they are not taunted. This is actually pretty good. And obviously, if you've got Morgan in a team where he's the only character who is taunting, then that's even better. If you've got a heavy taunt team, this obviously isn't that useful, but this isn't too bad. I don't really know what else he could have got that would have been better. I think this is pretty much as good as he could have got, right? I think so. Maybe bounce back when attacked, this character, unless he's got bounce back too. I think this is pretty much it. They couldn't really introduce a brand new passive, so I think we should be fairly happy with how Morgan has turned out here. Now next up is Harper, and she is a leader that I've seen people talking about. She is becoming a little bit more viable with things that need to be cleansed, all that good stuff. And Harper is definitely a character that can do that. Will she get a boost to that potential? On her rush, she's just going to get a 100% damage boost, so she's just going to do more damage, which is nice, but it isn't really what she's about. She's a control character, so we'll see what else she gets a boost to. Her signature move is going to get a limit break 3, but it's going to be a 25% defense down boost, so it gets one enemy getting minus 50% defense, which actually is really heavy, honestly. And if you have her teamed up with that Michonne with the extra 160, yeah, someone's getting absolutely destroyed with that sort of stuff. I can see these 2 characters maybe being viable in something like Conquest against Davies. On Conquest stages, it's going to be like you're coming up against just normal Davies at that point, which is a bit more, easier to take down, let's say. I don't think she'll have a passive upgrade. If she does, she'll have a boost to every single part of her kit. That'll be kind of crazy, and she is not. So she's not going to get a passive upgrade, but she gets a pretty decent upgrade on her signature move, I think. That limit break 3 isn't too bad, but it is a turn 2 cooldown. But a cooldown is not too bad. I guess you could lay up with this, and you could dunk with Michonne, because they're both on turn 2, should work quite nice together. Okay, so as I said in the intro, we have got a character to give away, and it is a strong character of your choice. And to enter, all you have to type is the strong LB3 I like the most is, and then put the character that you like the most on the upgrades. It doesn't have to be the character that you would choose as the reward, but if you do not put an answer to this question along with the phrase itself in a comment, I will be skipping you when drawing you. This is to make sure that we're getting actual real answers. But like I say, type in the comments down below as a sentence, the strong LB3 I like the most is, and just make sure you aren't putting in any special characters in. Make sure you're typing exactly as you see it. You can type other stuff afterwards if you want to, like talk about other characters you like, but make sure you get this phrase correctly. Otherwise, the software that I use to actually get the comments from my videos will not detect your comment as an entry. Good luck to everybody who enters. Now back to the video. Now we are starting to get into the meatier end of the strong characters. We have got Michonne 2000. Visually, obviously, she gets kind of nutty. We have sort of seen some teaser pics from Scopely about Michonne 2000 just getting, so many arms, basically. And we're going to see what buffs she gets. She got one of the best Limit Break 2 buffs because she got 50% per attack, which obviously meant an extra 200% damage. She's not going to get any boosts otherwise, though, on her Adrenaline Rush, but she is going to get a boost here. I can see it already, and it's going to be a starting cooldown reduction on her signature move. So her signature move is now going to be turn 1, where she can do a guaranteed crit, which means she's always going to be giving Guardian Shields as long as she doesn't have that resisted. 200% damage as well, so pretty high damage, but also turn 1 control. This is actually really nice. It's going to be good for a lot of different game modes, like I say, Challenge Run and Conquest. I use her from time to time. I see other people use her from time to time. This is a big buff for those. But even for raids, I think this is going to be absolutely good for raids and war and stuff like that. Now, she should get maybe a boost to her damage potential here, because all of her passives are damage potential. And she's just going to get a 15% crit multiplier, which is you know, she's just going to do more damage when she crits, and most people do build her to do damage when she crits, so this is actually going to just feed into the rest of her kit. Next out is Barker, and he is just having a bit of a boost recently. There's quite a few characters that are very usable with Barker lead. Let's see what boost he gets at Limit Break 3. And at Limit Break 3, his rush gives 2 teammates 100% AP. This does mean, obviously, instead of the 50% AP, it's going to be 100%. The first rush, it's generally not going to mean too much. But there are going to be characters that can come into it, can do things like AP drain and stuff, but this is guaranteed. 2 characters will get their adrenaline rush off of turn 1 a lot of the time because of how it works with his signature move, and be ready to rush turn 2. So yeah, if he's got a command, he's getting commanded turn 1 majority of the time. Next up is going to be his signature move. I don't think this will get a boost. It is not. It's very heavy already. He gets 100% AP himself, and that's why he's going to get commanded to do his rush to give 2 other people AP. Yeah, crazy. We'll check out his passives now, and if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we can see he gets Requital 2. When this character dies, one enemy gets 100% infection for 2 turns. I'm not sure what this means. Does this mean 2 enemies? Let's see what the grand total would be in here. When this character dies, one enemy gets 200% infection for 2 turns. It's the percentage that stacks together. Okay, that is actually quite powerful. You know, 200% is almost going to be impossible for any team to heal, especially with some heal reduction that is coming around as well. And it's only a 2 turn. It's only a 2 turn. And a lot of the time, let's say you're attacking and you take out Barker, one of those 2 turns is the turn you take him out, I think. And then it goes to the enemy turn, and it comes back to you with 1 turn 200% infection. That honestly is really powerful, and I've actually run into issues with this on Conquest in a couple of stages when he's on the defense team in Conquest. So he's going to get a buff there as well, so be ready for that. Now we move on to Gold Mythic Mike, who was the previous event character, and some people might have been able to get him to Limit Break 3 because I think he was in a crate. Oh no, he wasn't in that crate. Okay, he wasn't in that crate, so he's not going to get a boost to his rush, but he is going to get a boost to his signature move. This is going to be quite nice for challenge run, and it's going to be quite nice. Well, actually, pretty much everything. 50% boost to infection. It will stack with his heal reduction. Obviously, they will both work together, so basically now you have to heal even more. So it was a 30% infection originally. Is he going to get a boost to that heal reduction in his passives? And he is. When attacking, the target gets 20% heal reduction, so that stacks with the original half. I think it goes up to 80% now. Let's have a little look. Where is it? When attacking, the target gets 80% heal reduction. You can see Crippling Affliction at the top, and that is really powerful. So he can just do his signature move. It will apply this, and it will apply the 50% infection on Conquest, Challenge Run. Great. Even in War, Defense, Attack, doesn't matter. This is going to be very hard to deal with. Now we move on to Valkyrie, who was the Challenge Run reward. You can still obviously work towards her. This is almost confirmation that there should be another 60 stages added to Challenge Run. Right now it's 240 max confirmed, but my guess is with this, there will be 300 confirmed stages. We're going to see what she is going to get for a boost for her Adrenaline Rush. She's not going to get any boost on her Adrenaline Rush, so it's going to be 700% damage to one enemy forever. Next up, she's going to get a starting cooldown reduction, so she's going to have a turn 1 signature move that does 40% defense down for 2 turns, and she attacks an enemy for 150%. This is actually pretty good. Remember, she does have follow-up, so she potentially could get into a position to turn 2 natural rush. If she can get this off turn 1, she's, you can attack with your entire team, or you can attack with her first because she's got the defense down. You've got different options, and I kind of like options. I think she's actually pretty decent. What boost does she get on her passives? I'm guessing it's going to be the boost to all strong teammates getting 50% bonus trait advantage damage. The reason I thought that she was going to get this is because Diamond has it at 30% already, I believe, or potential by Limit Break 2. So it is nice to see this. So I think that's a 30% boost. Let me just double check. All strong teammates are going to get 30% trait advantage damage. Strength's advantage is the buff, and that is honestly really powerful in a strong attacks team. This will stack with the weapon, leader skill, Obviously mods, other people's weapons, 1535s, all the good stuff. Now next out is going to be Gold Mythic Rick, and he is again another Mythic Trials character. It looks like his laser sword has changed colour to a pinkish. I'm not sure. Oh, actually this is the non-first edition Rick, so I don't actually know what the first edition Rick is going to change to, but that could maybe have a visual change. But I think a lot of the Mythic Trial characters are pretty much what they were from the get-go. His limit break 3 is going to be a change in his AP from 75 to 66. I'm not 100% certain on this one. I mean, I think it's not too bad. His rush is actually not too bad. On an attack team, you can do it whenever you want, of course. The AP to a teammate is pretty decent. You can sometimes just heal Rick up, buff him with the 100% bonus defense, and give someone their rush, and they won't lose their turn. So that's nice. But on a defense, it can just be kind of random. And he will prioritize his rush over commanding, and he will prioritize his rush over doing his signature moves. So his signature move is very good, and commanding generally is very good too. We'll see what he gets as a boost to this secondary. He's not going to get a boost to his signature move. Honestly, I'm thankful, because that is really powerful. A 2-turn initial cooldown and cooldown of 2 turns on a revive is kind of nuts, especially when it's unlimited. I think we should probably sneak in like a 15 limit there. Is that too much to ask? 15 limit? I don't know. We're going to check out what he gets as his last passive, and it's going to be Provoke 2. When this character starts their turn, 15% chance to taunt one enemy for 1 turn. So that goes up to 45% chance to taunt an enemy off of turn 1. So instantly when you start the fight on attack, you've got a 45% chance to taunt someone. The same when it goes to their turn on defense, you've got a 45% chance to just taunt anyone, RNG. So it's nearly 50-50, so that's going to become much more powerful, obviously. Now we are moving on to characters that are currently promoed or in Mythic Trials themselves, and obviously the war character, the last 3 characters. First up is going to be Marcus, and we're going to check out what boost he gets to his Adrenaline Rush. Nothing. Doesn't get anything to his Adrenaline Rush. Next up is going to be his signature move, and he is going to get a 30% attack down boost, so it goes to 80% attack down to the taunted enemy, and it's going to be for 2 turns. So the character that's attacking him is going to just not do any damage at all. No risk. 0 risk, no matter who it gets. I think it potentially could have been a lot stronger. Obviously, it could have been another taunt target. It could have been like taunt align. It could have lasted for longer. So I can be fairly grateful, honestly. If your character gets taunted, though, it's going to be problematic. Next up is going to be the passive boost. And let's have a little look what he's going to get. It's going to be Halting Force 2. When being attacked, 30% chance to stun the attacker for their next 2 turns. This means he has a 60% chance off of passives to stun the enemy when attacked. This is honestly so powerful. So powerful. I don't think anyone else has this high. I think the one that Zachary got made it like 40% chance or 45. I think he got 2 20s. This dude's getting 2 30s. Yeah, 60% chance, and you can't bypass this. You can't disarm it. When he's stunned, he can still stun you. You know, it's kind of like anti what the game has always had. So this is going to be very, very problematic. The way you can get through this is only if you just hit him with rushes that have no on hits, like normal Andrews, big rush, the rush of Valkyrie. You know, these rushes will not have a chance of proccing that. But anyone else is going to be potentially stunned, and I mean, it's a high potential. This actually does open up the potential for him to have any sort of weapon in his hands. So you don't really need a control weapon in his hands at this point if you're likely to stun a character. You're more likely to stun a character than not stun them right now. Now we move on to the Mythic Trial character that is William. 3 Mythic Trials within Strong is pretty big surprise, obviously, but we're probably going to get him in other traits going forward. Visually, this is what he looks like if he's not the first edition, and I don't think much changes. Again, like I say, he is going to get a buff to his rush, and it is actually nuts. Upgrade, all teammates recover from all penalties. I think initially it is 2 teammates. 2 or 3. I'm not 100% certain. That is a big boost. That is a big boost. Everyone gets cleansed for everything. and he's got a 55 AP cost rush. So if you do manage to stun everybody, if he gets this rush off, nope. If you do manage to get infection down and heal reduction down, and there's, you know, the healers controlled, this guy gets this rush off, nope. You know, everything gets cleansed. Now there is obviously some downsides to this. If characters have trauma, this will proc trauma. This obviously the way in. This character's got some ways in. Exhaust and trauma seem to be the headlines on this one. We'll see if he gets a boost on his signature move. He is not. He's going to get a boost on his passives, and it is going to be Ezekiel's Successor 2. At the start of each turn, up to 2 teammates heal for 30% of their max HP. So that's going to be 60% heal. Is that a 60% heal? Let's have a little look. Ezekiel's Successor at the start of each turn, up to 2 teammates heal for 60% of their max HP. This is stronger than a fast attack weapon and 5 fast characters being in that team. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That is nuts. And honestly, to a certain extent, it is kind of what strong characters needed. As much as I think this is really, really powerful, strong teams just don't have any healing except for this guy. So he is pretty much the dude who've got to nuke so hard on a defense team when you see him. He doesn't have much to stop you from doing that either. So, yeah. Those defense down boosts that you're seeing on some certain characters off of turn 1, the big boosts on like bonus HP and stuff, and he does have bonus HP in his teams that I see him in. You've got to take advantage of that now, because this guy's going to just keep on healing. Keep on healing, baby. Now, lastly, the last character to check out with strong is going to be Gold Mythic Romanov. And we are going to see what he is going to get. We'll check out his Adrenaline Rush, and he is going to get a Limit Break 3 upgrade here. And it's going to be 1 extra main target, and that is going to be a free upgrade the second you get him to Limit Break 3. But you can spend military supplies to upgrade the crit from 50 to 70 if you so wish. Now, if we check out the overall here, you can see it's going to do 20% of his max HP to up to 3 enemies, and it's going to be main damage. So he kind of gets the extra target, kind of like Kapoor has 3 targets, but it's not going to be as damage dealy as Kapoor, but he is a tank, whereas Kapoor is more of a damage dealer, so that kind of makes sense. So we check out his signature move. He's not going to get any boost here. And lastly, his Adrenaline Rush. We'll just scroll all the way down to the bottom, and he is actually not going to get a boost here either. This is actually a bit of a surprise. He's the only character to only get 1 boost on Limit Break 3. That is kind of a surprise, but it's not going to be the case. It's going to be just the rush boost for Romanov at Limit Break 3. Obviously, he is going to get the stat boost, as will every other character once they get to Limit Break 3. And that is it for the strong characters, guys. Do make sure you check my top comment on my video, guys, for instructions on the next video coming up. That is going to be the end of this one, though, guys. Good luck in the giveaway. Thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.